What's up, Stripe Nation? Blake Alberts here with B&B Lawn Care. A lot of people like when I shoot videos with Hazley fishing in the background, so here's another video like that. I have a pretty cool video for you guys. These are the top 5 coolest things I saw at the 2019 GIE Expo. These are things that are recently came out, have been around. There's one that's been around for a while, but a couple of these are coming new for 2020. So stick around and enjoy the show.
We started from a landscape company in Toronto, and it grew from 20 people when I started to almost 300 people.
Shout out B&B Lawn Care, like and subscribe. Let's go!
Now.
GIE is awesome, let's go!
First up, I saw this mower last year, but didn't play around on it. This year, I was like, I have to check it out. The 96-inch bat wing that fold up. It's an Exmark 96-inch zero turn. Next is the MultiOne M1 7.2 liter. This thing is sweet. I've seen them around, I've seen the blue, like I knew what they were. This year I got on one, tried it out, and it was really, really cool. It actually articulates, like the center, it was the weirdest thing. Like if you haven't driven one, try one out. Like they had basically all the attachments as, you know, a skid steer or a dingo, but it was just a totally different platform. It was 4-wheel drive, hydrostatic, so it didn't tear up any turf when you turned the it was just the coolest, strangest, fun thing to drive. All right, we're out here at the demo booth. It's madness out here, but I'm here with Kyle from MultiOne, man. And tell us about these. I've seen these. For how long have they been around?
In the United States, they've been around a little over 5 years, but they've been produced in Italy for about probably 25 to 30. Okay. So they've been around for a while. But this one right here is actually a 7.2. It's actually one of our newer models. So what you're gonna be running with this one is a Kubota engine, 25 horsepower. We got new mud guards on this one. You got metal fenders. You're not gonna have the plastic anymore on these. And this, you got a telescopic boom. Then we're running a tree grapple on it. It's kind of just demonstrating what you can do with this. The logs aren't real big just because it's a GIE. We don't want people hitting everybody. So you're going to be running this one. This will pick up and move. The real target on these machines are people that are going to be doing like lawn care work, so you're not tearing up the yard. With your hydrostatic motors, you're actually not tearing up any of the ground. The way they turn, you don't have tearing up, fixing yard work.
Are they 2-wheel drive or?
This is a hydrostatic transmission, so you're 4-wheel drive all the time. Okay. They come with a DBS and track lock as an option, but they also come with a floating boom valve, which allows you to have a floating boom as you're working on yards or whatever. Tree care industry is another huge thing. People like them because you can also have the telescopic boom to reach out and grab those over the bushes and stuff like that.
And so what other attachments can you use on this?
Well, we have over 170 different attachments for these models, and all of our attachments fit our machines. So you don't have to worry about other models fitting different attachments and stuff like that. They cover all the way from all 4 seasons. You got from snow to summer, turf, then you got tree care. What do you mean
by snow with these?
Well, you got snow plows,
really?
Brooms, blowers, brushes, salt spreaders. They make over 170 different attachments. They got everything you can think of.
That's crazy. What about for like landscaping and stuff? What kind of attachments are there?
Well, landscaping, you'd have levelers, buckets, pallet forks to move your sod.
How much can this lift?
This one right here, the lifting capacity is about 2,300 pounds.
2,300?
Yeah.
And what do these run typically?
You're looking at a price range. It really depends on what you want to put in, because you can load this cab with heat, heat on this model, and glass cabs, and window wipers, windshield washers, everything you want. So it just depends on what you would want.
What about just like, let's say just this unit?
This base model right here would probably be around $43,000.
Okay, and where do they sell at?
We have dealers. So we actually are a distribution center, and we are in Springfield, Missouri, and we set up dealers all throughout the country. Right now we have Northeast covered pretty good, all the way down to Florida. It's covered. Now they're working back over to the West.
Cool. Let's, I want to drive one. Let's do it. Next is the stand-on Stinger aerator. You guys know I have this the walk behind with the sulky on it. This thing is an absolute beast. Next year, 2020, I am absolutely getting a stand-on aerator, and I am sold on the Stinger stand-on aerator. So I just want to be more productive, and this thing is an absolute tank. In the past couple years, robot mowers have made a big appearance at GIE Expo, but this year was second to none. I'm gonna go through here real quick and show you guys some footage of some. Of course, the big one, Steel, has the IMO that's been out for a while. Echo just released like a 40-inch robotic mower. Honda has the Mimo. Then there was lots of other brands. Husqvarna had some really cool looking ones, all the way up to like a spider mower, which isn't robot, but it's remote controlled for like city, like government work, like sides of hills and stuff. I can't imagine how much they are, but they're super cool. Then lots of other smaller, like not name brand, huge brand companies had these robotic mowers. I think everybody's trying to figure them out. Everybody's trying to make the push, but at least in my area, I have never seen one robotic mower out. And so I do believe it's the future. You guys know I'm like super into that robotic mower. I'm gonna try to get one here for 2020, and it is the future. We all know that, right? But I don't know if the technology and the software or the hardware is there yet. I don't know. Tools and equipment are part of the job. The other part of your job is software. LMN software, I've heard of it. My buddy Josh Sutton in Kansas City, my local buddy, he uses it, he loves it. It is like the ultimate software to find out what to charge, where your profit margins are. It's a super numbers oriented software. Coming up, I interviewed Mike from LMN. He kind of explains how you can get into it, how you can start using the software to better your business and make more money. And that's what it's all about. Next year, I want to get nitty gritty with my numbers, my profits, my software, streamlining my invoicing. That is my number one pressure point in my business, is my invoicing. So next year, we have to take care of it. I'm going to be way too busy. We have twins coming. Our business has grown. I can't be messing around not getting people invoiced on time, not getting paid on time especially. I'm here at the LMN booth 2019 GIE Expo. I'm here with Mike, and I want to ask some questions. I was telling Mike, and when I say me, like my small business, are still pretty old school. I say pen and paper, but it's really just on Google Drive, lists that I made for weekly. And I was telling him, The past few weeks have been madness. Preparing for GIE, we've had tons of rain, the yards are soaked, but they're growing like crazy. It feels like a second spring in Kansas City at least, and it kind of feels like this here in Kentucky too. There's people emailing me, texting me, calling me, and like I have to go back into my list while working, and honestly, I just feel disorganized. Like I feel like I'm missing something. You know, Nancy calls me, where were you yesterday? You said you were gonna cut, and I'm like, just busy, and I forgot to go back through because there's so many steps, even with my invoicing system. We didn't even get into that. The way I invoice, it takes like 5 or 6 clicks to invoice one client, you know? And so I know Element, we had like a little emergency this morning. We were at the event, and God bless Natalie, like we had to go to the hospital, so that's why I'm thankful for Element's sweatshirt, because mine has hospital fungus all over. Yeah, you know, I had to take a shower, get changed, but you guys released some new features. They sound awesome. Can you kind of talk a little bit about that, and then you know how Element could help guys like me, where we're like old school pen and paper, almost old school as in like carbon copy, writing out invoices and smacking it on the door.
Yeah, for sure. So, and I don't know if you know much about our background, but we started from a landscape company in Toronto, and it grew from 20 people when I started to almost 300 people by the time I transitioned full-time in LMN. And we started the same way, all paper, right? And to find out what was going on, you were always 12 hours behind at best. That's if you got everybody's paperwork in. That never happened either. So we're always 24, 48, maybe even 3 days behind. And in Toronto, you get a lot of snow as well. So sometimes what you're just describing here, our grass probably doesn't grow as quick, but we're out at 2 in the morning servicing 300 sites in a variable event where over here it's snowing and here it's not, and this truck's breaking down, and it just became impossible to run an efficient business on the pen and paper. So we started working on our own technologies. That's what Element, was born out of. But the idea is that everybody in the company touches Element, from the accountant to the salesperson to the crews out in the field. And what that does is just sort of really bring everybody together around the same data. So I'd set up the job, how it should go when we went to estimate it, for example. Once that job was sold, we'd convert it into a job that the crews would then clock into. And part of that is scheduling, right? We're scheduling the job automatically, so I can create a year's schedule in about 10 seconds now for all services with some of the new features. So now they've all got a scheduled date and a scheduled crew. As that crew's out there working and knocking off those sites, the second they say, I'm leaving this site, I'm done. I have a GPS stamp, so I know they were there. My customer can know they were there. But I also see on my screen it changed color or changed status. So now I know, okay, that job's done. What you described, the customers calling in, we used to get a lot of that in snow. I'd never hear from a customer though, like, are you coming? They were always calling me, where are you? It's too late by the time I'm hearing from them. So proactively responding to complaints by looking at the heat map, if you will, and seeing the push pins change colors as the crews are out there. I could tell before they could tell me who wasn't getting service, so that I could get out in front.
Can you do that with lawns
Oh,
too?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, you just change your interval. So on snow, it might be a 3, 6, 9, 12-hour interval. In lawns, it might be 5 days, 7 days, 14 days, whatever.
That's awesome.
So that you can stay ahead of the problem. So you'll know if somebody gets skipped before they do, and that's the idea. And we can dispatch crews using the schedule. Crews can give us notes on why they may have missed it or whatever. So even if they did miss it, or if there was a problem or whatever, if they've made a note or taken a picture, that shows up in red on my dashboard. So in real time. So before they've even left the site, I know, okay, there's a problem here. I should call the homeowner. I got to make alternate arrangements, or we're just leaving. We're just not servicing because it doesn't need it this week. Whatever it is, I've got sort of peace of mind. And then that information flows into invoicing, and that information flows into payroll. So the guys get paid because they've clocked in and out. That's how they get paid, and that's why it works, right?
Wow.
If they're clocking in on a time clock and filling out a piece of paper, they don't really care too much about the piece of paper. They care about the time clock. This merges those together. So I get good information because they're clocking in and out, and the app doesn't let them clock in and out until they answer the questions about what they did. So it brings it all together, and then that drives invoicing and drives payroll too.
Well, even with that is, like, if you were doing that on lawns, you'd be able to tell, like, Nancy's lawn, for the past 4 weeks has taken 22 minutes, right? Like,
to the minute, yeah. yeah, absolutely.
And then I know my buddy Josh Sutton in Kansas City couldn't make it, so we're here gonna film GIE for him. He's been talking about LMN for years and how like he didn't even know really what to charge before using the software, but like then he inputs every little aspect of his company, and now he knows exactly what he needs to charge to make the amount of money that he wants.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
And so, can you talk a little bit, like you talked about the scheduling and the timestamps, but where does it go from there for invoice standpoints?
Sure. So the crews are ticking off services that they've completed. When I've set up the jobs, I've set up whether those services are included in our monthly or whether they're extra or whether they're capped at a maximum number of visits or whatever. And maybe it's just a fixed monthly contract. At the end of a period, that period could be a day, it could be a week, it could be a month, doesn't matter. I just go to the invoicing module and I say pull everything that's due to be invoiced that hasn't been invoiced yet. In less than 2 seconds, it'll go grab every single one of my jobs and find all the services that we've completed or the monthly invoices that are due that we haven't generated yet. I click a button, it generates them all. We have a look at them. I can even flag certain jobs for special review if there's stuff that I don't always trust the crew tracks. It'll show up with a little flag. But yeah, whether it's monthly, bill per service, even quantity billing like yards of mulch or whatever, it'll pull all that from the crew's timesheets and then create those invoices, and then I just export those to QuickBooks so they go to the customer.
What about sizes of business? Does it matter how many guys you have? Does it matter? I mean, can anybody use this?
Yeah. Because the entry point of LMN is free, we've got users of all sizes. Like companies, just owner-operator and his kids would be our sort of smallest type of user, all the way up to companies running sort of $50 million worth of work a year.
That's crazy.
It runs the whole gamut. Yeah. Certainly different needs by different. By the time you get bigger, you're much more into the timesheet app. When you're a one owner-operator, you know whether you're over budget on a job, and maybe that's not as important to you. And payroll's simpler because you're looking at all the people you pay every day. As you get bigger, you simply can't do that, or you can't necessarily trust everybody, and so that's where some of the other features really kick in. But who doesn't need to know their numbers, right? Doesn't matter what size you are, you need to know what to charge if you want to grow or if you want to be successful, and Element's really good at that, and it's really good at that for free even.
So what's the first step for guys? Like, even me, like, I'm from pen and paper, where do we start?
Yeah, so the best place to start is our free version. So we have a version of LMN that's absolutely free, and that includes the budgeting and all the CRM, including our new CRM app. And CRM is customer relationship management. So basically it manages all your leads and your clients and the history of communications you've had with them. The fact that you can see that all from your phone. That's all free, as well as the budgeting tool. Like I said, you plug your numbers in there, you're going to learn a whole lot about your company and what overhead is and what isn't, whether you're on ratio, whether you're in the right benchmarks for companies or similar in their work types. It does all that for you. It's a great starting point. It is free because we find a lot of people start there, and once they get a taste of their numbers, then it's an easy, they want to move forward from there, and that's where we get into estimating and job tracking and all that stuff, which is on the paid versions, which are still really reasonable at about $199 a month. Most people spend more than that on popping the pop machine than running their entire operation.
Well, and if it exposes an area of weakness in your business, that'll pay for itself, once you fix your business and you're making money.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many, whether it's office time savings or mistakes saved in the field or just pricing jobs right. Yeah, if you can't save $200, if you can't save the cost of LMN, I don't know what to tell you. I've never met anybody that's ever said we haven't been able to pay back that investment. It pays for itself so easily.
Those are some of the coolest things I saw at the 2019 GIE Expo. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.